Hey, how's it going? This is Frazier here, or IT is also known, for another podcast, episode 3. I also left here with my good friend, Gooselord, also a Twitch streamer and content creator for Mortal Online 2. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not too much. Thank you so much for joining here today. So today, I really just wanted to talk about, obviously Henrik's new Twitch stream. We talked about the upcoming patch along with a couple other things, and going along with kind of some updates on what's going on in the world of Mortal. Anything you like to add, maybe?
No, I'm just excited for the freaking character slot. Like, very excited for that.
Yeah, I know we've been waiting for that for a long time. Tell me about it. Yeah, we're gonna definitely get to that. That's whew, that one's gonna be a huge one for me. Um, Hey, but did you listen to Gab's YouTube videos before?
I don't think so.
You haven't heard Gab's music yet?
Wait. Is Gab the one that did the AI? Is that
Yeah, yeah. He did the AI.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know who created it, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's a couple of people that copy and pasted the videos onto their own YouTube channels, but scum. But
Yeah, yeah.
so shout out to Gab for making that. I can't believe Hendrik actually used that on his stream the other day. That was pretty epic. Um, so down our list though, I just like based off of things he kind of talked about. He fixed the AI spawning, which I think was pretty huge. Um, which is really awesome that he's been actually really focusing on the player based feedback. A lot of people thought that he wasn't, so I thought it was really big that as a developer he was actually doing that. Just actually putting into the input of the player base. You don't see that in a lot of other games. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, where do you see a CEO streaming just to get some kind of, in touch with his actual community? I've not seen that anywhere in the past. I mean, maybe New World, but they're not like reading comments and engaging with individuals. Not to mention, you got to see if you go check out some small time streamers, Henrik's in there watching, getting feedback, seeing what their reactions is, and like what needs to be improved upon. So it's as a newer player myself, it is very refreshing to see from like leadership and what have you.
No, yeah, 100%, 100%. Um, but yeah, I mean, we gotta talk about Diva though. We gotta talk about Diva. That's
So I still haven't comprehended the diva system all that well because is it not that like the two, if you get your second character it's like their soul or something? Is that what I'm to understand?
no, no, no. So originally, Diva, the way Henrik actually pitched it was new character slot, professions would be connected along with the house slot, so it would be reputation, but the skill points for combat obviously would be open for whatever you wanted to try. But it proved to be too difficult to code, which, I mean, obviously, if you know coding, it's for sure going to be a difficult process. So what he did is simply scrap that out of the new character slot. The only thing connected is the home slot. So beyond that, everything is you to do whatever you want.
Yeah, okay, so that I was actually watching a Wolf Sites cover of that very topic, and I thought maybe he was misquoting, so I must have missed it in the stream. So we do have separate reputation and separate murder counts,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
separate guilds. Okay, that's really exciting. Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I was actually. I could understand the reputation, that could make sense, but like the murder count was really stressing me out.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried about that too. But no, so if you really think about it, you could technically have a murderer and play the good guy on the other tune.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is good. I mean, if you come out of Haven with your second character and you're immediately a murderer, that would be a terrible time for anyone.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, speaking of Haven, actually, I don't know if you heard, Hendrik was actually talking about unlocking that to the public for free.
Hopefully, it's sooner than later. I have heard it mentioned a couple of times, but yeah, hopefully it's sooner than later because that would be huge for influx of new players. Absolutely.
No, 100%. And I think that he's actually taking a lot of that feedback a lot more serious right now during these sprints. I've noticed that. Just because you have most recent patch was like, I mean, you got a new dungeon, right? But it was a lot of quality of life things that people were asking for a long time. And
Yeah.
it seems like ever since the subs started happening, a lot of the work went into the game that needed to be done for a while. So I think, like I discussed last week, there's definitely a lot more motivation on the developers side of things,
Okay.
especially for the team, because it's Henrik's vision, not the coder team vision. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that the fact that they're actually probably getting paid, the work.
Yeah. Definitely a motivation.
Right. So,
Gold motivates me a lot in game with my decisions, so I can see it working outside of game as well.
well, speaking of gold, Henrik did mention he was actually talking about combating RMT. Uh, we didn't. He didn't go into too much detail, but he did mention there was going to be a quote unquote gold flux, influx of
Hmm.
gold. So
An influx of gold.
right. So then he did mention too. They were talking about redoing the existing dungeons in game with their loot tables, adding exits and entrances. You know,
That's
basically,
spectacular.
right. Redoing the dungeons. We don't. Obviously, there's no time frame on that, but
Hmm.
the fact that he's aware of it is very enlightening, considering that he has the most recent two dungeons released have really good loot, right? Undercroft,
Oh,
you go there
100%.
for your trinkets. Like I literally pulled a Ruber not too long ago. We pulled silver topazes left and right. So I
Oh,
mean,
damn.
yeah.
Good for you, man. Nice. Most I got is a couple of gems out of a chest that happened to be unlocked,
Oh wow, yeah.
and I
Um,
keep getting zerged in the vault.
See, I don't go to
I
the
haven't
vault. I will not go
I
to the
haven't
vault.
made it out alive yet,
I
but
went.
it is fun.
Yeah, I went to the vault once and survived. I got away with couple paintings, and that was it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you post them up in your house, or did you sell them?
I still have. I actually have two. I had two copies.
Okay.
So we killed the guy in Shango, and he was actually transporting three paintings from the new dungeon to Moki area, and he was.
Yeah.
I don't know why he did this, but he was transporting through the Undercroft, not like in the actual dungeon, but
Really?
like on top of the mountain.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
where people go in
yeah,
and
where
sit
people
up
are
and
always
stuff.
around, right? So
Yep.
I was
Yeah.
like, why are you doing that? And then he kept on spawning at our priest in our stronghold. Give back picture, give back picture.
Oh no, that's ours.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you're in like one of the most hostile environments. If it wasn't us, it would be somebody else. I mean, it is what it is. I felt bad, but I was like, you gotta learn. You can't just
It could have
run.
happened to you. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it's just part of the game.
exactly. And then we got the other two paintings we have are duplicates, so we just have them on backup. We might even use them for the Tindremic attire book. I heard it's dog shit, but it is what it is.
Yeah, some of the aesthetic of the new armor set and that new cape didn't like my eyes didn't dilate. I didn't get excited from it. Kind of lackluster and just being honest with that.
I mean, with the new headband, you got Conan now. You can get the
True.
Conan outfit. Yeah.
The headband does look good.
Yeah, you basically put riser soldier legs. You would put no shirt on, or no chest. You put the attire headband on, and then I guess what type of arms would you put on? It'd have to be bracers to just cover your wrists.
Yeah. To do the Conan look. Yeah.
Yeah, Conan. But anyways, oh yeah, huge thing for TC, which I thought was crazy. And I talked about this last week. The exact same thing, and it's kind of crazy that they actually implemented it this way. It's almost like he was like watching or something, or like was reading my mind because I said TC system for time windows. People were saying like, people they should vote on a time. No, they're actually going to be going through voting for time windows until everyone like they can vote to opt out of certain times until that everyone agrees like gets to like the one time zone that is left
Yeah.
on that list. So I thought that was huge. It's gonna be like the Shadowbane. I don't know if you ever played Shadowbane.
No, I heard that mentioned though. I meant to actually take a look at that off to the side.
How about Darkfall?
I have heard of Darkfall. I've seen some footage of Darkfall. Never
Okay,
played it though.
so definitely look at the Darkfall system. It's very similar to what he was describing. Um,
Okay.
PTR is coming up, rolling out this coming or next week, so I'll be there. Test a lot of things out. especially the TC siege system window. And then the next big thing for me personally, because this was a big thing in a war that I was recently part of, supply towers.
Oh, those are huge. I can't wait. They're too overpowered,
Yep,
in my opinion.
and it was a
Too overpowered.
horrible game loop. Horrible
Yeah,
game loop.
nothing siegeable, and I'd like to see like ownership of keeps transition way more frequently. I'm new, and the only time I've heard of a keep transitioning is through like purchases or like forfeiture, not someone actually sieging the keep.
There was one keep that did go down with a bang. It was North
Okay.
Order against the Nightmare Alliance.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so what it was actually really ingenious what they did too. They shot people. Okay, so actually, one of it was kind of shady. North Order had an insider in their guild that opened the
Ooh.
gates for Nightmare. So Nightmare,
Ooh.
they took down the front gate. Then the insider opened up the inner gate. They
Oh
all rushed
man.
into the courtyard, so the courtyard fell, and then they've pushed all the alliance, coalition, all that back into the actual inner sanctum, the keep, right? And
Yeah.
then what the nightmare started doing is they took their Ellies and started wind pushing them onto into the inner courtyard walls. So they would be on
Oh
the
my.
left and right side walls, and then they would diagonally shoot them onto the middle wall. Yeah,
Okay, that's kind of cool. That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
And then they
Very
built a
clever.
Mang on the inner sanctum wall and shot people onto the window of the keep building on the like third floor.
That's okay. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen some. I've actually gotten to do a little bit of that myself, like tinkering with launching people with the mangs.
You know what? We're gonna
Yeah.
watch a video on that. It was so epic, bro.
Okay, okay, let's do it.
We're gonna watch this. This is so cool.
While you're pulling that up, I'd like to say, man, the Albion online, if you've ever heard, they've got a really, really neat system for like siege or raids or what have you. Um, their time windows are actually regionally based. So depending on what map you're in, or what map you're in, there is a set time that you're allowed to attack to try to take over the territory, and I think that's really cool.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, that's
there's no
super
voting
big.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, let's start off. I don't know. This video was the one that showed it all. But they got onto the walls here, I believe, through Ellie, so you can actually waterfall people up onto the walls.
Okay.
Uh,
That's cool.
yeah, I saw Carney do it as well. It's smart, you know. They got pushed off the walls after killing. Let's
Excuse me.
see here. Okay, this is might be it. Oh yeah, this is it. Okay, they take down the wall right there. See, this wall is like it's basically broken right now. They jump in. Somebody opens the inner keep gate. They get in.
Okay.
You can see the guy literally at the blocking the gate
Yeah.
from the other North Order guys trying to close it. And
Oh,
then
that's toxic,
yeah,
though.
super
I
toxic.
mean,
So I
hey,
don't.
run it though, dude.
Yeah, and then so they're all inside. This is the left here of the video is the inner gate to the keep. We'll skip ahead some more. Um, where is the really cool part? Okay, here we go. See, there we go. The Ellie pushed onto the inner gate walls with the wind. They're just pushing each other on. It's so crazy.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And then, let's see. Right, this Mang right here is what they shot onto the window on the left. You see you can kind of barely see it. Right, I'll pause that actually. Let me see if I can see the window better somewhere. Okay, you can't really see the window. It's horrible. But right here where my mouse cursor is, you'll actually be able to see a balcony. They shot people onto that. And then on somebody else's perspective, I think it was actually a Nightmare video,
Uh-huh.
they shows one of their battle brothers or something running out onto the balcony to see everybody outside and then just get bum rushed by everybody on the balcony because like, oh, we got found out. And they just went in and it shows like a POV perspective of them just slaughtering everybody inside the actual keep. it was epic. And then
That's sick, man.
yeah, so this was the only siege I think that took place that was actually a real siege. Oh wait, there they are. Boom. They sieged them right in. Manged them right into the window.
It's a little bit behind for me. Hold on, let me see. Oh, I see, I see. They're doing the hope hack or whatever. Okay. Dang, that's pretty clever, though.
Yeah, and so like I said, there was another video of a different POV where they actually showed them rushing in and killing everybody inside the stronghold or the keep. It was epic. Yeah,
Oh,
that was the only real siege that actually ended up in a loss of the keep. It was,
okay.
yeah. But anyways, yeah. So and for hopefully that happens more. I really think that with the supply towers going down to not giving defense, it's going to be a big game changer, especially for a lot of guilds. I mean, Odin Seed
Yeah.
owns 3 keeps. Let's see if they can actually hold all 3 keeps. You know?
Oh, yeah. That would be
Yeah.
pretty wild to see how long they keep those for. I'd
Go ahead.
like to see a bit of change to the siege system. To be honest with you, something not being able to get inside the door was really rough. Maybe like a battering ram or something. Um, right now, there's been a siege that's been going on, and we had 4 mains. It was 3 or 4 mains going all at once, and they had 4 players that we had, Alvar and side on. I guess they all had advanced engineering, and they were just out repairing the 4 mains. Absolutely absurd, in my opinion.
See, the only thing you can really get past that at this moment is surging them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
just spamming all kinds of AoE abilities. But
Yeah.
I mean, if they sit in the dead center, I mean, there's so much that they could do to defend from that.
No, I agreed. Especially because now you can also, if you knew you were going to get sieged, you can actually block off the doorway completely, even if the doorway was opened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you
With
can
walls
actually
and
use furniture, yeah, to block off the door completely.
Yeah. We ended up trying to launch people on the roof of the stronghold, but apparently they must have ticked at 100 HP and were able to block the staircase off entirely. So, we just launched people on the roof for no reason.
Damn, that's shitty. That sucks.
It's clever on their part. I mean,
Yeah,
good knowledge and use of the mechanics, but it is, yeah. I mean,
yeah, it's a faulty mechanic for sure.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope with the new changes it helps out. Especially because, like you said, you could sit inside your stronghold, repair it with like a bunch of max level engineers, and have a tower group going around on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, true. The global defensive bonus, that's insane. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
regional, but if I'm not mistaken, they're changing it so that it just provides you supply
exactly.
over time, which makes sense. It's called a supply tower,
Uh huh.
and I think it'll be less contested. So more guilds will have the ones nearby,
Yep.
like
Exactly.
where their villages are.
Exactly. So I think it's going to be a big game changer, especially for a lot of guilds that have been afraid to strike out against larger groups because of the defensive bonus. I think it's
Hmm.
going to be big because they can't. The bigger groups, yeah, they have the numbers, but they're not going to be able to defend as well as they would have been
Yeah,
able to.
exactly.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Henrik was talking about obviously putting more money into advertisement. So we'll hopefully see where that goes. I don't know how he's going to be advertising. I would like to know personally. I honestly
I
would like,
would love to see that.
yeah, because he did say they're going to be making a new guild recruitment system. I don't know if you heard about that.
I did, yes. I'm a fan of anything that encourages player togetherness.
Right.
Um, I think a game like this, it's very major to have that. And if I could say about the creator program, um, giving away more drops and like game time codes for approved creators, that's advertising in and of itself because like people who create YouTube, I had a few people today tell me they bought Mortal because of DNSL Daniel, because one of his videos was just super funny to them, and so they picked up. So you have content creators who are doing the advertising for him, and it would be nice to have a bit of incentive for the community to actually take part and watch that stuff. I think game time codes are a necessity, and it could promote new players, new accounts being created, etc., etc.
No, for sure, I agree with you. So the only thing that I see that could be possibly a problem with that, and this is something I'm just looking at, like as a developer,
Hmm.
um, they would have to figure out a way to make it so that the account would not be able to build a house, for example. I feel like that could get abused very badly by some people
Okay.
for their own guild's benefit. I feel like it would have to be a restrictive trial run access to the game.
Yeah. Yep. Very
Um,
true.
Because even like just thinking about like that fledgling flag system, like the new player system, the yellow tag,
Hmm.
how you lose a bunch of standing by killing one of them. There's penalties and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I feel like people will abuse that system to do transports with them.
Yes. Yeah, but to be fair though, if I see a fledgling in a group with an established guild out in the middle of the steppes, I'm gonna be a little interested in what they're carrying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
But you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
be a little.
penalized for attacking him, though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, I there should be some sort of deterrence. It's gonna be abused. It's gonna be difficult to not abuse it. But there's a game called Fractured Online. It's not popular at all. It barely caught any fucking traction. But they have like a noob system where like you can't be attacked for X amount of hours or until a certain level, and it does make it a lot easier for you to kind of get into the game. um, if I'm not mistaken, it was like 40 to 48 hours, maybe. I can't remember what I heard.
But
So I mean, so any veteran playing on a a fledgling account, they're gonna burn those hours pretty quick. Um, Especially if it's like 48 hours after you leave. Not game time played, but like just 48 hours after you leave Haven.
right.
Or yeah. Then I we'll see. We'll see. I hope it works out well.
No, for sure. And then on the top of that off, he was talking about making preset clad classes.
I I think maybe it's like blueprints. Hopefully, it's like blueprints, ideas on. I think
You know, like other games
there's
highlight them. Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
like user recommended. This build has been upvoted X amount of times. I
Right.
think League has that with some overlays and a couple other MOBAs, but um, it's really unfortunate for new players because they don't realize how many third-party resources are absolutely required to get into this game. The character builder, the workbench, the map, alchemy emulators, and refining calculators, Norse Bible, all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, the less new players have to leave the game to acquire knowledge, the better. In my opinion, again, like I said, I'm a newer player. These are my hot takes, I suppose. Uh, I've heard some disagreements, but I do believe that more in-game information could benefit the longevity of the game.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Because you gotta think about it. You got people that they're like desperately looking for information, and there's a lot of those guilds that aren't going to share that information, obviously for their own benefit. So there's
Yeah.
those issues as well. But I do see it as a kind of a reward system because that group of people went out of their own way to figure out and like master a solution,
Hmm.
right? So I can see why they may not want to share that solution
Hmm.
because it was so hard to obtain in the first place. So there's that aspect of it. I think that has to be taken in. But no, I agree that there should be certain things that should be shared on a minimum
Yeah.
so that it's not like here's your go-to guide, here's this is how you play the game, go, this is it, this is all we can offer
Yeah.
you, and out like doesn't really give you open ideas to try new things. I think that's the cool thing about Mortal. It forces you this change and try different um, cooking materials. Like who the hell would have thought Ogmium, Alabam, Maiden Queen Corpse,
Yeah.
Minnow
Yeah.
Carcass all combined would
Yeah.
make like one of the best hot foods in the game, right? Like
Yeah.
it,
They need to
it,
fix those tooltips too. Let's talk about those tooltips.
it
Bro, you can't even read the recipe sometimes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I get it 100%. I think that It's really messed up the way that is. But it's really cool though because it's creative. I mean, I
Yeah.
got fortunately got access to a lot of these guild specific um, recipes. Guilds I'm not even affiliated with. Guilds that we'd probably fight if we met on open land. I actually
Yeah.
got access to their recipe books, their guidebooks that they actually made, and it's just crazy how much time and effort went into those things. But when
Hmm.
I got a person, I said to myself, "I'm not sharing this."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I felt the same way. I was I've learned about guano, and I was like,
yeah,
damn, that sounds like really expensive,
it
and I
is.
couldn't find anything, man. I googled it, I couldn't find. There was no post or anything, and I shit you not, man, like 2 hours killing terror birds, just you know, looking for shit,
Yeah,
and eventually I found some, and I did post a screenshot just so there was visibility of what it looks like for new players that might be interested in finding it. But after I realized the price and the value of it, I was like, I thought for a second maybe I should make a guide on how to find
yeah,
guano so it's
no,
traded more. And then I realized I don't want anyone. There's people in my guild that were like, "Where'd you find it?" And I was like, "Near terror burns."
yeah, yeah,
That's it, dude. Good luck.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a way to make money in the game, and like Henrik actually said, he's added secrets to this game and didn't disclose it on purpose, right?
Hmm.
And that's exactly one of those things. I know exactly how to get it. I'm not going to tell anybody on this
Yeah.
ever. I'm sorry. If you came here looking for guano, I'm sorry.
Keep looking,
Um,
brother.
and there's other things. Other things that I actually personally found. I made a lot of money doing it, and I honestly feel like I'm probably the only person who's figured it out. And I'm not trying to be that guy, but it's a secret that I figured out personally, and I haven't even shared it with my own guild. I told
Nice.
them that I have a money making method,
Yeah.
and I just whenever I go to do it, no one ever is there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, when you find your thing, you don't want other people to encroach upon it. And
exactly.
it's not hate. It's not that you don't want to see your peers succeed. It's just if you do introduce them to it, they step on your toes.
Yep, you're taking away my gold.
Yeah, yeah,
That's my
exactly.
gold flex for re-rolling money. Dude, I spent 13,000 gold on re-rolling flex, gold flex,
Oh,
and I haven't got a single good roll.
damn.
Yeah, but then that silver ruber that we got took 3 silver flex, and we got a 10% slash 5% blunt.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's pretty
I only spent
best in the slot
782
almost.
gold. That's all I spent. 782 gold on that ring, and then I spent 13,000 on another ring. But the silver ruber did sell for 46,000. So
Say again.
46,000.
46,000.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm about to hit 6K for the first time, and I'm ecstatic, dude. I can't even comprehend 36K. Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, man. So rings and everything is awesome. I really am excited to see if Henrik really does quote unquote influx the market.
Mm,
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see. And then he's talking about adding a cosmetic shop to the game.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I think it's
I really don't.
if
So long
he
as it
go ahead.
doesn't interfere. So long as it doesn't interfere with like over the again 6 weeks new. I I can identify armor sets based on the appearance.
Right.
Um, and so long as the cosmetics doesn't make it so that I can't tell that they're wearing arthropod or chronite, I'm okay with it. Cool capes, cool underwear, stuff for your house, stuff like that. Maybe something on your horse that doesn't cover up the horse's armor, so I know you're wearing incisium or steel or something. So long as that identification process isn't eliminated, I'm okay with the cosmetics.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with that. I think the reason for that conversation is because of the interestingly enough, talking about subs, right? So a lot of, there's
Yeah.
I wouldn't say there's a lot of people there, but there are some people whose voice seems to be very loud that talk about it. I don't know what your thoughts are on the subsystem. I personally like it just because, as I've discussed and kind of been my argument, people want to work when they get paid. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's if it was a bigger game with funded by a bigger publisher, they could probably get away with not doing subs. But then where are they making money? It's a live service game.
Mm-hmm.
They're updating it rather frequently since I started playing.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to have some type of influx of cash, and if it's not subs, then what is it? And
Right.
I've tried to introduce the game just this past weekend. Two of my really close pals were like this close to buying the game, but when they found out that it was sub based, they were like, "I don't support that model." I was like, "Okay, that's fine. You don't have to. I mean, you're missing out, but maybe in-game tokens of some sorts. I don't have a problem with that so long as it doesn't crash the economy, and it's like well thought out. Plenty of other games do it. I don't see why they couldn't figure a way out to implement that as well."
Yeah, no, for sure. That's why I think the cosmetic shop would be a good opportunity to even just lower the sub to kind of quit the whining of a couple players, you know?
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
he did say, though, there has been increased player activity and an increased amount of subs in recent time.
Okay. I mean, this new combat update with the dungeon, um, I think I can see from a veteran's perspective a reason to come back and at least try this, and then it feeling good and fluid and very smooth and sticking around again. Um, I'm very grateful. When I was playing, I was like, "Dude, this weapon swap shit is for the birds. I don't like it. It's super slow. When I press one button, it should pull that weapon out. If I press two and my bow's on two, the bow should come out." And I'm very grateful for it that I didn't have to put up with it for the past few years, and it's just about a month.
Yeah, no, for sure. It has been, I think, game changing for a lot of people. I was even watching a couple of people, content creators, using it, and I've noticed like how great of a feel it is. I mean, just imagine being able to pull out your bow and then
Yeah.
switch to a sword and actually decent timing and not be like overrun by a bunch of people hacking at you. I think that's pretty
Yeah.
huge.
I learned a pretty valuable lesson prior to this change. I was fighting a Vila, and I pulled my bow out, and he was really low. I had him on the ropes. I pulled the bow out, and he just turned right back around and started smacking me. He punished me for pulling the bow out. Now I could at least pull the sword back out, but beforehand,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a death sentence.
Yeah, but hey, we gotta hope that we can actually retain the player base that we're gaining. I've noticed that there's been a lot of new content creators. They're obviously
Hmm.
not official content creators for Mortal Online, but
Hmm.
there's been a lot more people streaming the game, and they're brand new. I just hope that we can actually keep them, because I know, unfortunately, there's members of our community that have been graveyard camping some streamers that are brand new to the game. You actually responded to one of those with me, and I was very disgruntled by that. Um, and it's by a major guild in the game. I get this person unfortunately was a non-factor player too, completely irrelevant, and just had a big mouth. I'm not gonna say names or guilds or anything like that, but it's just really unfortunate, and I really hope that some of these players will just kind of like have a reality and notice that hey, maybe I shouldn't be graveyard camping new players when I'm in full steel with a terror bird. Maybe I should actually like go out and fight people and with my own like with other people that with steel on or other
Yeah, yeah. You want to fight someone at least within like
like the skill
some
gap.
some type of
Yeah,
balance, fair
yeah,
fight. Those are more fun than just pommeling a new guy.
yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to determine if someone's new, but I mean, shit. I jumped a dude the other day. He was ungilded, and I realized throughout the flow of the fight that he was kind of missing some parries, and I just realized I had a little bit of a leg up against him,
Hmm.
and so I mercied him. And instead of killing him, I was like, "Hey man, welcome to the game. Like you did pretty good, nice fight." And now he's in our guild, and he's ran with us and pushed against Carnimata. He's joined us on sieges, and um, so long as you're not just abusing new players, I think it's still okay to kind of give them a little taste of what's going on.
Oh yeah, for
Camp in
sure.
a graveyard. I mean, that's just lame.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. I mean, he actually, I think I recall this guy that I'm talking about deleted his gear. He didn't even take it. He deleted the player's gear And
Yeah.
yeah, we're talking about this is gear from I believe the Haven zone. It was Haven gear.
And that's I mean, and as a new player, you'd have like the 10 silver armor set and the 20 silver armor set. When you make that upgrade,
Hmm.
that's a big deal, especially early on. You're like, man, I worked really hard. I got 20 zombie heads just to wear this shit. And if someone's, I mean, that's griefing at that point. They're leading the gear.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Uh,
It's like graveyard camp or jungle camp priest campers.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was
I'll,
watching
I'll
that
say
today.
this.
Actually, today
Say again.
I was watching somebody stream today, and they were getting priest camped by a certain guild in jungle camp.
Yep, yep.
That
I'm
was crazy.
familiar.
That was crazy.
I'm 6 weeks in. I have way too many hours. I'm super hooked. I have not had a streaming session where I'm in the graveyard. I titled my stream "Camping the Graveyard for Noobs" or something, but I wasn't in the graveyard. I was just clickbaiting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
like
think I've PvP'd in the graveyard since I started this game.
Slasher saying that he's a hacker, and then shows you like crazy PvP VODs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, dude.
Yeah. But oh yeah, so Henrik also was talking. So what has been a persistent issue in the game has been like the 300-man fights plus on certain nodes that just freeze and crash the game. He actually said that he believes, and we'll have to see, 5.4 will actually fix this. So we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
here's the hope, and I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to Unreal Engine's game engine and any kind of versions or updates.
Right.
But, I do have an opinion on node lines and how I've been screwed over multiple times. So
Mhm.
I mean, well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, 100%. And then, of course, we're going to get tour dogs on the next patch. One thing that I was kind of interested in, so on the sprint 2, it literally says more mounts, right? Pluraled. And then on sprint 1, you have bear mount. And then on sprint 3, you have new creature / mount, Lyciator, right?
Okay.
So what else are we getting besides the tour dog? Because we already know we're getting tour. He said it. We got armor already in the game due to exploits.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
right, so we already know what it's gonna look like on the tour dog. It makes you wonder what else is more mounts, right?
I'm just thinking of like a troll response, like Belbus or Wisens or something.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe a dog because it is picture of a dog, right? It is a tour dog technically, so maybe they're making all the canines mountable. Besides, not just a tour dog. I don't know. Maybe a Belbus, maybe a cougar.
I think a shore prowler should be. I think those would be sick.
A shore prowler.
Yeah, dude. I think those would be sick, dude. They look like the land before time those creatures. But could you imagine one of those creatures with some heavy armor on, man? I'd be a tough fight. They probably don't deal a lot of damage, but you could stand behind it, and let it eat a bunch of arrows. And
You actually do bring up a good point. I do see the shore prowler probably. Wait, wasn't the shore prowler? You probably wouldn't know this actually. I believe in MO1 the shore prowler was mountable.
I think I've heard that before.
Yes, and so I wouldn't be surprised if that happened again. Because on Sprint 4 it does show new mount, but obviously it hasn't been discussed.
Okay.
So we'll have to wait and see on that. Tour dog, we already know it's gonna look sick, but I wonder what else it means by more mounts plural. We'll have to see. And then
I do see the silhouette now. It does kind of look like some sort of rabid dog.
right.
Sprint 2.
Exactly. So I'm kind of wondering what that's all about. And then he did say, though, on the update on the fist weapons, that will be something that's actually going to be getting delayed. He doesn't want to half-ass it and release some piece of shit content, which I totally understand. You definitely would be the worst thing you could do to release an unfinished combat system. With the combat system the way it is now, and we don't know, maybe fists would just be super broken if you did, or super dog shit, and no one would want to touch it. It'd have to be balanced.
Yeah. Cue the bear armor for the unfinished product.
Oh my god, that's so true though.
We'll just keep it. Keep it. It's already in there. Just keep it.
Yeah. And then one thing I do remember people were complaining about was, how you rotate to hide your morphs when you attack? Like,
Okay. Yeah.
you know, right? People were saying, I wouldn't say a whole lot. People were just talking about how, like, oh, you should slow down the rate your character model churns, right? Um, so I actually did some testing in game with it, and when I saw that, because Henrik actually stated he did actually churn down the churning in the game. It is actually limited, and then, so there is, I do agree, he actually reduces it very significantly when you go in to wind up an attack. I don't know if you've actually tried it. You should take a look at it next time you're in game, because when you're like not in an attack combat mode and you're just like looking around with your sword out, whatever,
Definitely, I could definitely pick up on a slower sense of camera angle.
Yeah.
There are people that you fight though that it feels like they don't have that limitation. It feels like they're on a dime and just like a ballerina or something.
I personally have a DPI changer on my mouse, and I tap it whenever I get in the fights.
Okay.
So I go from 400 DPI to 900.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I get that. It's I don't know, depending on how far you dumb it down. I mean, at a certain point, allowing that speed, sure, some limitation, but if it's super slow, then it's just going to be a parry party.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
it's not going to be like skill. There's no skill base. It's what makes Mortal Online combat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone's standing toe to toe, no spins, I mean, it's just a matter of who wins through chip damage at that point.
Yeah, 100%. And like, you gotta think about it this way: you can't ever really limit DPI, like the training speed. People are gonna always figure out a way.
Oh yeah.
To do it, because I mean, you got mouses with a DPI changer application built into it, and most.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Logitech.
Buttons on mine.
Steel Series.
Buttons on mine to change the profile.
Yeah.
So I can set it from 100 to like 10,000.
Yeah, exactly. So like, you can tell me, oh, you're limiting my mouse in game. Oh well, cool. I got a third-party mouse that I can make go faster. You can't limit me because it's a mouse, right? So I mean, there's no game that's actually going to ever be able to limit that. Let's just be realistic. Yeah. And then even if you did get to a crazy DPI, I mean, that player with a crazy DPI is probably fucking himself even harder, because there's no refresh rate in the world that could be able to give you the vision of a non-blurred screen at like crazy DPI. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. So it's a double-edged sword. People are gonna fuck themselves or just like find that perfect medium, but it's still gonna be visual for the other player anyway. If you have brain cells, you can tell where people are coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously not every single time, but like you get a general idea. Like last second, you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna get hit from the left, right? But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, so he did actually say that the pathing around houses was improved. The Bear Armor book will be released next patch.
Okay.
He said, quote unquote, new twist in dungeon for the new dungeon. New twist. And he hasn't leaked any information besides saying there's going to be a new twist. So it's going to be more difficult compared to other dungeons, I quote.
Alright.
Yeah, so I don't know what that's all about. Well, I picture like an Ultimeki boss with like an actual dungeon attached to it.
Okay, that'd be pretty cool.
Right? I think that's what I'm kind of picturing. And I'm picturing maybe like, you know how at the Messar's Vault, to get to the boss room, you got to go through the painting.
I didn't know that. I haven't made it far enough in there.
Yeah, okay, so was it painting or a wall?
I've done the Necro dungeon where jumping through a painting was part of the mechanics.
Right, so I'm thinking it's going to be some sort of like either a puzzle or it's going to be some sort of... No. I don't know. It's going to be weird. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah,
maybe like you have to light a few candles in different rooms in order to summon something.
Shit, like a puzzle. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Like, I think that would be a fun addition instead of just going in there and whacking shit.
Have you played Baldur's Gate 3?
I have, yes. Yeah.
So you know when you want to go to hell?
Uh-huh.
You have to do that little puzzle to do the ritual on the second floor of the house. Yeah, it's kind of like that. That'd be kind of cool if you had to do something like that, and you had to actually find a book that gave you a guide on how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My very a small amount of experience with the Necro Dungeon. I really liked, pulling the secret book, and uh, there's a spiked, floors, and um, the hidden picture. I think the Necro Dungeon is very interesting. I don't think that they should replicate that. It can only be so fun doing an invisible bridge so many times. It's super
Yeah,
frustrating.
it's very unfortunate with
But
the
it
situation.
is fun. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say it. It's a really unfortunate. Tian Ming has unfortunately been holding that dungeon hostage for years, um, and they're doing something fishy.
All I can say is things might change pretty soon.
Salute to you, sir.
That's all I can say.
Nah,
The Eastern Seaboard is it's got some tides changing.
oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, we'll look forward to that news. God bless you, sir. Uh, so before we get into any of that, though, because I do want to hear a little bit more. I don't want you to tell me spill the beans, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But so Henrik did say he's releasing two more dungeons. So the one coming up, and then one more after. So we're gonna have two more. So a total of four brand new. Four brand new dungeons. It's gonna be Undercroft, Messlar's Vault, and then two more after that. So that's really cool. He did say that, like I said, the existing dungeons will be readdressed, as we mentioned in the earlier. He's planning to add more POIs for people that know they can't get into the dungeons as solos.
Yeah, as
So-
they should.
Right. So he's going to add more POIs with wandering mobs, create more things to do outside in the open world. Especially, he said that he wanted to focus on areas with lack of POIs.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I mean,
right.
it'd be a shame to put a POI next to a POI. So
Right, right.
I would hope you would, definitely mix it up. And when they were live on Wednesday for us.
Mm-hmm.
When they were live, I said in his chat, I said, make open world great again, and he picked up on it. And I mean, I'm new, but I don't like running in big zergs and rushing a dungeon, and I like kind of doing small scale open world roaming, and I don't see people often.
Yeah.
There's if there was a heat map of the player population, the West is flooded, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come out to the East, and it's pretty sparse that you actually encounter.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll talk about that in just a second. Actually, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna talk about it right now. I think that's kind of actually the region's owning guild's fault, unfortunately.
Okay.
I say that because they have made a mantra of only killing murderers in that area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And created this mega alliance with every single small alliance that's basically being controlled by Unbroken. Granted, I love the Unbroken boys. I think they're great dudes. I think they had a great leader. He's taking a break from the game, unfortunately. But
you can like someone and disagree with them. It's alright.
Right. I just think that because of their mantra and what they've achieved, they've done done a couple good things. I will say they've created a safe area for new players to play in and learn the game without worried about getting murdered like you would if you were in the North or in Fabrinam or in Meduli. Because for instance, there's a lot of open murder in Meduli, even though there's a specific guild that controls the area that says they don't murder blues. But we won't really get into that too much. But of course, there is a new war brewing from the one and only Rans, Japanese Twitch streamer.
He's great.
Yeah, he's great. I actually had a conversation with him in Japanese.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm actually half Japanese myself. I used to live in Tokyo.
Nice.
We had a full conversation. He told me about his plans, what he intends to do, why he's doing it. The reason as to the why was kind of funny. So there was a priest, and it was actually locked at one point. Yeah, and then it was opened up after because Kodo did something. I don't really remember the exact details. And then because he opened it up, Karnimata started spawning at it while they were killing Kodo. So Kodo sieged down the priest, and then Rans got angry and said, "I'm committing anti-Zerg alliance on thee," and has now called a bunch of groups in the area, people that you would never imagine allying up together, all in this one Discord that I actually have access to. I specifically said I'm just here to see what happens.
Yeah.
I do not want to deal with this. I said I'm just here for spectatorship.
Like I said, I would love to see a shift in power, a transition. I bought the game several years ago, and Kodo was a name that I remember, long-standing name, and nothing against them. I've interacted with a few members; they're very kind to me.
Right.
But it is nice. It would be cool to see a shift in change, a shift in power in different regions. Um, I myself am a part of a guild that has been relocated, so to speak, from previous endeavors, and the strong will survive. They'll keep going, and I would just like to see that happen. I'd like those blue dots to change more often. I mean, it's a PvP game, and you can't just PvE your way through the game time, man. So.
Yeah, so that's what like I was kind of saying about that area of the map, the southeast. So I mean, there are guilds obviously you guys have to worry about out there, but it's kind of crazy. You have guilds like Crows who live literally outside of Bakhti, and they are like a 5-man guild.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, they're tiny. They're minuscule.
Well, I've only seen them a few times.
Yeah, and they show up in the southeast to go do certain POIs or just kill random people because that's their thing. That's their thing.
And that's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's content.
It is fun.
Yeah,
PvP is fun.
Right, and then they get pinged that they're assaulting members of the alliance. Right. So what happens is they do an all call for 5 guys, and then you have like 30, 40 people running down these 5 guys, and then comically enough, and I've seen the DMs, they don't even kill them 100% of the time. They actually get away. Like the same thing goes for Orda. Orda is another group that was in the Moki area that got sieged out of their area. They used to have a village down there. They have been moved, but they still come down because they obviously want content.
Yeah. As they should. They're entitled
right.
to it.
And that's like the only 2 guilds that really messed down. The Smoking Snakes, I think, is another guild that comes down south to the southeast Moki area. But yeah, besides that, it's just a really boring area for veteran players. It's just...
I could see it. I could see that. From my time spent, I could understand that, actually. Yeah. It's kind of tough living in the East and visiting the West because, people hold grudges in this game, and I just want a PvP. I don't care about, what Tommy's uncle did to your mom. I just want a PvP, and I don't want any of this, oh, well, he griefed me 6 months ago. Get over it. Just play the game. Move on. You don't have to add to KO list just because somebody killed somebody.
Keyword. It's a game.
Exactly. And I find myself, when I visit the West, I'm like walking on eggshells because I'm afraid that I'm going to piss off, the ruling guild, let's say, and I want to be in their good favor so that I can play there and I can explore it. I guess you could even call, there's some content that's gatekept, and I'm not a fan of that. So the more I see a power dynamic shifted and alliances breaking and reforming, the better I think the game is, personally.
So speaking on that topic, though, actually it was hilarious. So I saw on Beardos's stream recently, he was in Fabrinum, and there's a Blueberry player who's actually a murderer. His name's Caden.
Okay.
He's Australian, and he went up to Beardos on his stream and said, "Hey, congratulations on leaving the Alliance. And you aren't killing the game anymore. You're saving it."
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, you see, when you were allied with all the Zergs, you were killing the game, but now that you left, you're actually saving the game."
Yeah. conflict breeds content. Like, let's be honest, conflict breeds content.
Right, right.
If everybody's allied, then it's just a big hand holding process, and that's not fun.
No, exactly. And, I think what the guild that controls the GK area, their alliance realized that because they were actually the first to step away.
Okay.
Yeah, they stepped away actually way before Odin Seed walked away from the alliance. Odin Seed
What
only
alliance is that, by the way?
Rat Alliance.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so Rat Alliance walked away from that way before Odin Seed walked away. It was Kodo and Odin. Kodo and Odin Seed were allied together far longer than the Rat Alliance was allied.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, and out of all the guilds, I think the only guild that actually needs the support is unfortunately the guild that controls Meduli right now. The one that because I feel like they've upset so many people over the time, thinking that they were safe for so long. So I think they either need to reevaluate their diplomacy, or they need to make I don't know, just be prepared for a full-on griefing war because even the griefers are involved apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I mean, I hope Rand's fucking runs with his plan, dude. I hope he gets people rallied behind. I hope the enemy. I hope they build up a good, strong defense. I hope they have it all out, dude. That's what this game's all about. Seeing old footage and hearing people talk about war stories of, well, what was it, the anti-coalition and all of that stuff happening. Hundreds of players fighting. I I dream of being a part of a fight like that. That sounds so much fun.
Yeah.
And at the current state of the political affairs in the game, that's not going to happen. That's not happening.
Right.
Kind of going back to the siege mechanics and everything. Was it Nightfall that had the keep in the north?
No, Nightfall didn't own a keep. It was Nightmare.
Nightmare. Sorry, I confused the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, them just giving that up. I mean,
well, they didn't technically give it up. So actually, I'll tell you a little bit.
I heard it was a transfer of.
It's propaganda, actually, believe it or not.
It's propaganda. Okay, let's
yes.
hear it.
So actually, that keep was decayed during the time that Carnimad has been sieging their shit.
Okay.
So Rat Alliance has been regularly sieging their shit. They basically gave up on TC buildings. They gave up on the TC game loop because of their failed assault on Odin Post, which was a Odin Siege stronghold in front of Minnow Dungeon.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So they basically got Odin Post down to like very small percentages, but the reason why it failed is because they had a bunch of their allies capping towers for them regularly. They had the tower game. They had the defense bonus game. All the things that were not how they are now. Yeah. It's super. It's so funny how immediately all that stuff changed, right? But so all these things were active, and if it were the way it is now, they would have lost it. They would have lost that village, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
But because of that, Nightmare basically said, "Fuck this. We're out of TC. We're getting hit by our enemies every day anyway. Like,
might as well just
give it up.
Hang on to the small content or the smaller. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're also a mercenary guild.
Yeah, but I mean, who's gonna really hire them, to be honest, with their reputation? I mean,
I don't know about their reputation. I heard they're pretty good fighters, though.
Yes,
I did hear they're good fighters. So
great fighters, but there's a lot of things that I see. That's the thing about this game. You can't believe really everything you hear.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know actually if everything that's been said is true. So there's been a lot of accusations towards a lot of guilds. And,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I know that obviously in every game there's going to be a group of toxic players. And there's toxic people in probably almost every group.
Yeah.
But
one bad apple.
Yeah, right? And that can tend to make more bad apples come in unison. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just heard a lot of things about certain groups, and I just I'm not even going to comment on that actually because it's really contradicting. I could be completely wrong, and I think that's one of the problems with this game. But it's also one of the interesting things about this game that people spread lies and make them truths.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
Right.
mean, at the end of the day, I've got a few people that really enjoy playing with me, and then I have a few people who think I'm the scum of the earth because I killed someone that they didn't approve of. So, you know, whatever the case may be, I think, especially for newer players or even veterans, man, just let bygones be bygones,
Hmm.
but also just like don't judge, just judge people on how you interact with them, and people don't like destroying their guilds because there's so much invested in it. And if there was an RMT or an exploiter in at one point, doesn't mean they're all RMTing and they're all exploiters. So I don't know. I can understand the propaganda and the reputation, but you know, there's a couple of guilds that I kind of kill on sight. Um, but it's not that I don't like them. I can have an easily respectable interaction with them, but because of something that happened with one of their guild members, their guild tag to me is now, let's swing swords.
Right. Right. No, for sure. And I mean, it's not necessarily I think a bad thing too though, because it creates content for the game itself. Because it's you got to think
Yeah.
about it, it's player driven content. So when you have people creating propaganda that's completely false information from your perspective, and you
Hmm.
say, well, what the fuck? But, at the end of it all, it's like, well, they're creating a narrative, which is technically they could be like the villain if you want to think about it that way. They're like the villain in the
Yeah.
comic book,
Yeah.
spreading words of lies into your allies' ears, turning everyone on everybody.
That's a very good take.
Right.
I like
They,
that.
like,
I
they are,
actually like that. That makes
yeah.
a lot of sense, man.
Like, they're
Yeah.
like the character. Like,
Yeah.
they could be the main character, but are they the main character villain or the hero, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool that they actually have that because there's going to be your strong individuals who can lead groups of people and be your shot callers and be your guild masters, right? And then you
Hmm.
have the people that don't really care for the leading and want more of the following. And then you have more of the people that just want to like shady agendas.
Yeah.
Okay? So, and at the end of it all, no matter how crazy the bullshit is, it's all content and it's freaking cool, even though you may not think it is cool. And trust me, I've been part of the propaganda of certain guilds, and I know it's all a bunch of bullshit, but then I look at it and I go, okay, cool. They actually created a story that,
That's true.
we're like the bad guys, but in reality, we're actually trying to kill the bad guys who start in the propaganda.
Yeah, no, you
Right?
definitely shifted my opinion. You definitely shifted my opinion. I actually do like this take a lot.
Right. So, like, that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at it so much as, like, oh, fuck you, man. Like, how can you
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that? Like, you're basically saying I'm a cheater, or something like that, right? And
Well, yeah,
then,
even in like real wars, you send out fake messages to
right, to throw off your
mislead
enemies.
the enemy, yeah, the
Right.
enemy's allies. Hey, he did this to me in this dungeon. Oh man, that guy sucks. And then their relations start to deteriorate. And then
Right.
I
100.
see where you're coming from, man. Yeah, no,
Right.
I can get behind it.
Yeah, no, and there was actually something that's actually really fucking funny. So there's the proof propaganda, then they had their quote unquote proof, right? So there was this is a while back. This is a while back. I'm not gonna say names. They released a video saying that we were exploiting, or doing something with horses or something like that, like trading horses through the house or something. Like they were locked in a house and they were trying to
Okay,
get their
okay.
shit out of the house. And the video they showed zero tags, and it was like there was no tags, no guild tags, nothing in their proof. There was
Yeah,
zero proof. It was just
yeah.
a bunch of people running around on the screen. There was no actual proof in the clip. It's just
Gotcha.
crazy. And then people actually believed though that the proof was real and true.
They'll
But
bite into it. Yeah.
yeah, they bought into it. They bit, and it's crazy, man. So it's like it is what it is. But I laugh at it at the end of the day, and then I just go, well, I'm just gonna smoke those kids next time I see them.
Yeah. I did have somebody try to. They came into a stream and said, "I heard you got beef with so and so."
Uh-huh.
I was like, "No, I don't." I mean, he said a few things to me, but I don't care. And um, they tried to like kind of spur it on. They were like, "No, but I heard that you said something about him." I was like, "No, man, I could care less." And he's like, "This game is fueled on this stuff, dude. Keep it alive." And I was like, "Okay." I kind of, now that I've talked to you and you've shared your perspective, I kind of, I wouldn't mind throwing a little bit of a, I don't know, some jokes here and there just to keep it going.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think there's a lot, obviously, that could be talked about on that. But obviously, we want to keep seeing some things more hush hush for, I guess, the protection of individuals. But hey, is there anything you can actually share with me on that whole, like, East thing that we're talking about? I want to hear a little bit. You don't have to share it. Like, if you can't, don't. But I want to know. I want to know.
All I can say, really, I don't know how much I can say, because someone was streaming the event, one of the events that has taken.
Okay, so they did stream it, so it is public information.
Hold on. The leader of the event asked them not to stream it, and they were like, "I'm gonna do it anyways," and they got kicked and removed. I don't know if they were kicked from the guild that they were in, but they were at least kicked from the Discord, and it is very likely that they got kicked from the guild.
Was it Dyer?
I don't think it was Dyer.
Okay.
No. No. Dyer's a good dude. I'm pretty sure he comes around to some of these events.
Oh no, he was actually talking to me about it, and I said to him, I'd be interested in it, but I know that a couple of people that sympathize for our enemies would be participating.
Yeah. I'll just say there are people who are on our KOS list that during these hours, we are peace and roses, and it's for a bigger cause. And I guess to summarize it, under new management, let's just say that.
Interesting.
I'll leave it at that because I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. I'm just a dude that loads cannonballs into the main, brother.
You know what? I'm going to harass you for some more information in the coming weeks. I'm actually so curious about this because I know I could have been part of this, but I said no because of specific reasons. I just don't think it would be in our best interest.
Yeah. I mean, we can discuss it off stream, but there's not too much that I'd feel comfortable with. This I'm low on the totem pole.
Okay.
So if I give out too much, I don't want to compromise my my trust and what have you.
Yeah, no, 100%. You definitely want to keep that solid.
Exactly.
You're a solid dude, so I'd say yeah, definitely. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Little dissect of the information we got for the upcoming PTR, along with Sprint 3 information. I'm again, Goose Lord, ladies and gentlemen, a Twitch.